LeBron James found himself in some controversy this weekend. Last night, he apologized for a video he posted to Instagram with the lyrics to a 21 Savage song that said, quote, "We've been getting that Jewish money. Everything is kosher." LeBron said, "I apologize if I offended anyone. It was definitely not the intent to hurt anybody." This came after LeBron called out NFL owners on Friday on his HBO show. In the latest episode of The Shop, LeBron said, quote, "In the NFL, they got a bunch of old white men owning teams, and they got that slave mentality. And it's like, this is my team. You do what the bleep I tell y'all to do, or we get rid of y'all." So, Shannon, what is your reaction to all of this?
Well, let me take the lyric, the verse from the rap lyric 21 Savage. LeBron immediately, I guess it came to his attention that that was viewed as derogatory or negative or it offended some. And he immediately said, "I apologize." Now, ticky tack says if. Clearly, you're apologizing, so it wasn't if, you did. And I like the fact, Skip, because a lot of times, sometimes we say things or we do things and we dig in. We've gotten so politically correct. You just want to get your point out and stand on your point. And I tell people this all the time. If you are the offending party, you don't get to tell me what's offensive, and you don't get to tell me how I should feel. I'm telling you this hurt me. Sorry, apologize, and keep it moving. That's it. But don't stand into, I don't know why you offended. I don't know why you offended. I don't know why this and that. No, that's not for you to decide. So I'm glad LeBron was like, showed a lot of maturity here. LeBron posts, I follow LeBron on all his social media platforms. And he does. He posts a lot of rap lyrics. He posts a lot of songs. And some have explicit lyrics. Okay, fine. If you want to go dig up that and find and say LeBron shouldn't be posting that, it's not like you have to go looking for it. I like the fact, Skip, that he apologized. And I believe him when he says he thought it was a compliment. I believe him. But that's neither here nor there. Ignorance is no excuse. It's not, you should have known. It's kind of like parking there. Well, I didn't know it was a fire hydrant there. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Just because you didn't know it was offensive, hey, he said something or he posted something, Skip, it was deemed offensive. He apologized for it. Move on. Okay, you can forgive him or you cannot. About this comment, Skip, here's the thing. Anytime you talk about slavery or the Holocaust and it's not in a historical perspective and you compare it, you always gonna get blowback. You already know it's gonna get blowback, Skip. Anytime you compare those two acts and you compare it to something else, you're gonna get blowback. I understand what he's saying. He's not saying, because clearly, Skip, the NFL is not slavery because the guys get paid. Slaves did not make a wage. No matter how good Master Tom had it for you, he gave you a lodging or he fed you. You still was not free to move about as you saw fit.
Nope.
You did not earn money. So I get what he's saying. He's saying the mentality is this. This is the way we do things. You either toe the line. Jerry Jones said it. This is my stage. You either go toe the line or you're going to get on from here. Skip, I told a story about how my grandmother told me the story when she was a young girl. My great-grandmother, Grandma Lou, my grandma's sister Annie Mae, they lived on someone's property, and for living on their property, they washed the clothes, they did the house cleaning, they did the cooking. My grandmother they worked 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Sunday was the day off, so they thought. They went to church. My grandma and them get back, and they know in the black community, we go to church, you go to church a long time. You get there at 9, you're not come home at 3:30, 4 o'clock. My grandma and them come home, they walk home. The lady bring 3, 4 loads of clothes. Lou, I'm gonna need you to wash these clothes and have them back to me at the end of the day. Grandma Lou, my great-grandmother, says, me and the girls tired. We just got back from church, but we'll be there bright and early and we'll have them to you. The lady tells my great-grandmother, Lou, if you don't have these clothes back to me by the end of the day, you and the girls are gonna have to move on. You see the mentality, Skip? Do what I say, when I say, or you got to get on. That's the mentality. That's what LeBron is saying. He's not saying it's slavery. He's saying it's the way they think, is that they can control you. And see, in the NBA, maybe they're more progressive. And maybe it has a lot to do with Adam Silver, because it's hard for me to believe, Skip, that there's an owner that could have said something or done something that Donald Sterling did, and the NFL would have taken the steps that the NBA did to remove him. It's hard for me to believe that. Now, maybe that's not, maybe that's all Adam Silver versus Roger Goodell. Maybe that has a lot to do with it. But it seems to me that the NBA players, Skip, have a better working relationship with the owners and the commissioner than they have in the NFL. They don't every chance they get take shots at the commissioner, take shots at their owners. They don't normally do that. So I get what LeBron was saying. But again, when you mention slavery and you mention the Holocaust, Skip, and you don't put it in a historical context, but you compare it, there's where you always, and I hate using the term always and every, but you're always going to get blowback if you use it, slavery, in a comparison aspect.
So there's a lot going on here.
Yes.
So let's start with issue number 1, which you finished with. And I always defer to you on this. I can't begin to feel what you feel about slavery, but I know what I feel about slavery, and I feel deep-rooted shame that my distant forefathers treated black people that way. It was evil, and it was so wrong. And even when many of the slaves were freed, they were treated in very evil ways. There were hangings, there was torture. It's just, it's almost unspeakable what happened through that period.
Correct.
Have we come a long ways? Yeah, we have. Do we have a long way? Yes, we do.
Correct.
So this is just me speaking as a white guy. Every time I hear that reference from a black or a white guy, I just cringe at it, because obviously you can't compare what those slaves went through to what NFL players are going through. But I like the essence of LeBron's point. There's validity to his overreaching, overarching point about NFL owners.
Correct.
I like what Dr. Harry Edwards calls it, which is more of a plantation mentality.
Correct.
We don't pin it just on the way the slaves were treated. It's just that white owner, that white billionaire mentality, and they're right about that. It operates far more. It's more suffocating in the NFL than it is in the more enlightened NBA.
Correct.
Now, that brings me to the second issue. My first question is, what is LeBron doing right now? I've always called him the best role model in sports, and I think he doesn't want to be that anymore. Help me out here, because when you continue to post these rap lyrics, and again, you're trying to reach the kids. You want the kids to connect with you. And I think LeBron, as he ages in year 16, he wants to show he still has a lot of kid in him, and he does have a lot of kid. And he's very close with his kids, and by all the things that he posts, he's a great father. We get that. But he constantly drops F-bombs everywhere, and I just don't love it when it's hard for me to continue to call him a role model when you're going to quote those explicit lyrics, and on your show, The Shop, you're just going to drop F-bomb after F-bomb. It's the way he talks, I'm sure, off camera, and so he's being real.
Right.
But it's so real that it disqualifies you as a role model, and I'm not sure what the message is of it. I don't know what his new MO is here. What's he trying to achieve? Does it make him more popular that way? I think he has a lot of frustrated rapper in him, don't you think? No, seriously.
I mean, a lot of, rappers rap about what they see, what they've experienced.
Yeah.
A lot of them rap about the community which they came up in and the life that they had growing up. Now, and when they become successful, they rap about the women and the champagne and the watches and the cars. Okay, fine. And LeBron, LeBron's like, hold on. I kind of grew up like that.
He kind of did.
I didn't have anything.
Yep.
I come from a single parent.
I'm with you.
I came from the struggle. So it resonates with him.
Okay, but he hasn't risen above it. He seems to want to go back to his roots and play in that area more, which is fine. I'm not condemning. I'm just saying, who are you? Help me out here. Do you want to be the role model in the face of the NBA, or do you want to be that guy? I'm not sure. And that guy's very real. He's being more real than he's ever been.
Well, that's the thing is, Skip, if you go back to the shop, when you get to the barbershop, that's when you have real, authentic conversation.
I would say.
So he's having real,
because we have that right here, but we stop short of the F-bombs, right?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. And I think the thing for him, if LeBron were to go to the barbershop and he's like, and it was generic, they're like, that's not real. Because
okay, I'm with you. I got it.
But the comments in which you made, do you understand what he's saying about the mentality,
of which?
The plantation, about the...
I got that, but I'm going on to the Jewish money.
Okay, Jewish money, okay.
So the irony here is that a LeBron James who has been so beautifully outspoken on social justice issues,
correct,
he's taken such courageous and eloquent stands, that he stepped in this, that he's guilty of what he abhors about others who are racist, right? What do you always tell me about racists? They can be naive, they can be blind. They eventually, if you watch closely and listen closely enough, they will reveal their racism. Am I right?
Correct.
You have a line about that. I can't remember.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yes.
Well, I could say the same thing about LeBron on being an anti-Semite. Did he expose himself, or was it just naive? Does he not understand just how deeply he could offend some in the Jewish community with this?
I don't think he did, because I think, like he said, he thought it was playing him a compliment because they were well off, and now I'm well off. And I'm saying, I get, Skip, look, I can't excuse what he said because he didn't know. Because you can't
That's
say,
what I mean. But sometimes we talk about naive racists. They just didn't understand, oh, well, black people don't like it if you say that.
Right.
Really? I didn't know that.
Right.
You say, yeah, you're a racist at heart because you didn't get it.
Right.
You didn't want to get it.
Well, I think the thing for him is what leads me to, he apologized without explanation.
Yeah.
He didn't try to explain why he said it.
No.
He's like, I'm sorry.
I don't like the if I offended anybody, but whatever. At least he tried. He tried. I'm with you.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
If he would just remove, I offended people, some people
just
took
say, I'm sorry I said that.
Boom.
Yeah. Okay.
Done.
And let me quote something ESPN had this morning, and its story from a Yale professor. This was back in August, and the professor said, historically, Jewish materialism was used by anti-Semites seeking to demean the value of Judaism. I know that's deep, but that operates in the Jewish community. And my friend Darren Ravel, who used to be at ESPN, was sort of at the forefront of the charge against this on social media. And one of his tweets in response to one of his followers was, go find a Jew and read these quotes to him, these lyrics. Anyone, Adam Silver, Dan Gilbert, David Stern, then tell me how they reacted and come back to me, because Darren was very offended by this.
Right.
So to your point, if one person's offended, you're wrong. You're wrong.
That's good enough for me.
Okay, got it. And I know that a number of rappers will use references to Jewish money, so it's not just 21 Savage. But LeBron's a little naive. He's still being a little childlike to think that that wouldn't offend somebody if you just repeat it.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, in the Jewish community, like, we're more than just wealthy. We're just more than money.
Yeah.
And LeBron is looking at it like, well, I thought it was a compliment because, this and this and this, but no. Darren Ravel, clearly by his tweet, he's offended.
He's offended.
And if, like I said, Skip, if one person is offended by something I said, now, don't be mad because I said your team isn't very good or a player isn't very good. I don't care if I offend you in that aspect.
Yep.
But if I said something that you deem is derogatory about your race, your religion, your ethnicity, or your orientation, okay, bring it to my attention. I'm going to apologize. No question.
Yep.
This ain't about being PC.
No.
This is not about being right. This is not about standing my ground, or I got First Amendment rights to stand on. It's not about that. You deem what I said inappropriate, I apologize. Not if, I apologize. Wasn't my intent. Boom, I'm moving on.
Okay. So LeBron had some weekend because on Friday he was accused by some anonymous GMs of tampering with Anthony Davis.
Correct.
And then he takes a very controversial shot, but a legitimate shot, I feel like, at NFL owners.
Right.
And then he quotes Jewish money lyrics from 21 Savage, and that explodes. So that's quite a 3 days, man.
And
he is the drama king,
Skip,
right?
Look how the NBA, what was deemed as hood or ghetto or thuggish with the hoodies.
Yeah.
The NBA has a uniform. The official uniform that they warm up in has what, Skip? A hoodie.
Okay. I'm with you.
It's just LeBron has 45.8 million Instagram followers. So you have to remember, that's the most of any American athlete.
Bro, let your boy get like 5 million of those. So
Everything he says, does, critiques, wears, we are not going to miss it. It's a good reminder of that. You want to steal some of those followers? Is that the plan?
LeBron, let your boy get like 5 million of them.
Okay.
He might donate to you.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to the NFL. Is Patrick Mahomes still the MVP
My home
favorite?
boy.
Yep, here we
Well,
go.
apparently still on Shannon's side. We'll discuss next.